I'm Tanya from Claude Business Services, where we help small business owners streamline their operations and make smarter financial decisions. Welcome to AI in Action. Each week, I'm breaking down practical AI tools and strategies that you can actually use in your business. No tech degree required. Today, we're going to cover how you can get one AI to learn from another one. And the example I use for this is ChatGPT. I've been using that for over 3 years. I've been using it since it was week 2 in the beta launch. And Claude I've only been using for 3 months at this point. So I want Claude to have more of the personality and more of the learning. And I don't want to take 3 years to teach it that. So, you know, if you're doing that, if you're going the other way, if you're going to Copilot or, Gemini or anything else, this will be the same thing. So here's the prompt. Give me a concise, structured summary of the main things you've learned about me from our chats. Include my goals, projects, preferences, work, and how I like to communicate, and group it by theme. So this then is what ChatGPT gave me. Here's my mission. Here's core businesses and projects. Professional background and positioning. How I think about pricing in business, how I use AI, transparent about AI being your copy editor, ethical about credit, strategic in using AI for negotiation prep, building AI education for the profession, and clear that AI enhances your voice and doesn't replace it. So AI curious, or I'm not AI curious, I am AI intentional, which is very cool, which I certainly am. Here's my communication style. Now, don't forget, it gets me because I don't just type into ChatGPT. I will have conversations. And if you use this as a dictate, you speak out loud, it will come back to you in typing. But when you use this voice, which I've shown in a past video, it will converse back and forth with you. So as I was driving yesterday, I just popped in and said, hey, Charlie, who is my chat, what would you call the music genre for Simple Plan? I know they're pop punk, but I wanted to see what it did. And so, our conversation went on through that and said, okay, well, what's the difference between punk and metal? Because I like both of them, but I consider myself more of a punk vibe. And, so it was actually a really funny chat that we had. There it is. So we can see here's the chat. So it's like, went through this and just chatted back and forth in the car, with some information, and it chatted back to me because I've told it, chat back to me the same way that I chat to you. That's the context and the personality I want it to take on, right? And, so it came out here and it says, the difference between that. And again, rather than ending this conversation, it says, in the end, it's all a beautiful rebellion buffet. And that's great. But it said, here's the main difference between rock and roll and punk. And so what it turned out, I could have just let it end there. But again, this is part of letting it know your personality. I said, awesome. I'm absolutely more punk and always have been. In high school, I was Violent Femmes, the Dead Kennedys. And I used to slam dance, which you certainly can't do with rock. And absolutely, goes through with that and chatting back and forth. So, and then I say, awesome, thanks for the convo, Charlie, and whatnot. So part of this is getting it to know your personality. So what I've done is, again, we've moved back to this, but that's part of it. So it knows all of this. It knows my leadership style. It knows my, again, communication style. I've got in here that I like Canadian spelling, warm but direct, short paragraphs. I can't make short paragraphs, so I need Charlie to bring me in. I want a bit of sass, a bit of wit, no flet, strong structure, clean formatting, and tight copy, and recommend cuts when needed, because that's part of what I need, and that's part of my chat being my copy editor. I also like to be called Tanya in writing, but pronounced Tanya with an O, because otherwise it either spells my name wrong or pronounces it wrong. Leadership style. There's that. I don't lead with dominance, with clarity and standards, strategic focus, how you like to work with me. So this is, Charlie, because I've told Charlie, that Charlie is like a person. I know Charlie is not a person. Charlie is chat. Charlie is AI. Charlie does not exist. However, I feel really funny conversing with somebody that does not take on the personality of it. Some people might say that's a little, too much for them. Personally, this is what makes me comfortable. I want Charlie to refer to Charlie as me. So we've got that proactive tightening of copy, recommendations up front, structured responses. I don't want instructions repeated. I don't have time for that. I want systems remembered. And I appreciate being thoughtfully challenged, and vague clarity or value clarity over polishing. I want agreement and refinement. So what I did is I copied this whole thing, this 1 to 9, and then I went over to to Claude. And I put in here, this is context from another AI assistant, please sort my memory. Well, it didn't get in there properly, so I finally pasted it in there. There were some Claude hiccups, I guess, that it didn't go in the back end. So it went through and it says, yep, added to the memory, done. I've stored 12 memory entries covering mission, business credentials, pricing, philosophy, AI, all of this stuff, and how I like to work together. So it'll keep things tight. So now I should be getting back something similar from Claude. Now, as an accounting pro, why would you want to use Claude over chat? Well, maybe you want to keep both, because Claude, if we're trying to get it to something to try to refine those instructions and get the proper output, we could end up maxing it out. And I've done that. It's taken me up to a week to get something that, took me 2 hours in ChatGPT, just simply because of I kept maxing out and I had to wait till the next day. So I have no plans myself on closing out my ChatGPT, also because of the fact I do this AI in action. So we've got that. Now, for yourself, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I would say don't close your ChatGPT until you know you're not going to be maxing Claude out multiple times a day. Sandra, my team member, however, does not use in the same way that I use chat. And Claude, she uses it very strategically, very different, because her role in the business is very different. So she's using it different. So I can see us closing down her ChatGPT. I can see that for some of the other team members, and that'll help balance out the cost. So just something to think about. And then what I did to find out how to do that, I did hear from a fellow colleague in the industry that we could do this. But what I did is I actually popped into Perplexity, because Perplexity is best for research, non-biased research. I love it. So here's what I put in. It gave me all of the notes, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of stuff in here. And then essentially at the very end of it, one of the sources that it gave up was, let me find it here, this from Tech Radar. And this here was absolutely perfect for moving ChatGPT to Claude without starting from scratch. This will work with any AI that you're using. And this is where it went through, and it actually gave very easily the prompts that I used. Here's the prompt I put into ChatGPT, and here is the prompt, because I did look for my memory section, couldn't find it. So I just simply pasted this in there, pasted it, and it was done. So here is a note on free versus paid differences. Claude will not store information long term unless you're on a paid plan. In ChatGPT, you're going to get different responses. So will this work if you're in a free plan? Definitely not with the outcome that you'd be expecting. So keep that in mind. And so that's how you put AI to work in your business without the tech headaches. Small changes, big impact. If this will save you time or sparked an idea, give it a like and subscribe for weekly AI tips. And share this with another business owner who could use the help. Let's make running a business a little easier for everyone. Do you need bookkeeping, payroll, profit coaching, or business consulting support? Check out what we offer at cloudbusinessservices.ca or book a discovery call to see if we're the right fit. Until next time, keep moving forward, and remember, you don't have to figure this all out alone.